Ramble for Radio with your host, Jen T.
Yeah, fucking Jen is a warlord.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Rambo for Radio. I am your host, Jen T. Twitter and Instagram at Jen T523. Yeah! What's good, motherfuckers? You already know what time it is. We are finally here. Miocic Cormier 3. Yeah! That means we're talking fights. So if you don't like fights, then you can fast forward 15 minutes ahead to some other godforsaken conversation. I shouldn't even say conversation because it's just me. So dialogue then. Dialogue. Go on, fast forward, kick roots, because we're talking fights. Would you put your balls inside my head? Would you put your balls on my head? Back the fuck up, Ricky. Back up. Get your dick off my head. Hey, Ricky, get your dick off my head. All right, here we go. UFC Picks. First up, Kai Kamaka versus Tori Kelly. Well, I'm not a fan of Team Alpha Male. Tori Kelly is 5-1, 1 KO, 3 subs, 1 decision. Kai Kamaka, 7-2, 0 KOs, 1 sub, and 6 decisions, which tells me he is an absolute slow starter. 6 decisions, my God, that is terrible. You never want to leave it in the hands of the judges. So the last fight that I saw Kai Kamaka in, I believe, was either Bellator or another smaller show, and I was...
But I'm not impressed by your performance.
Kai did not look good. Maybe he was not feeling well. I'm not sure, but I was just not impressed. So here we are with Tori Kelly, Kai Kamaka. I'm like, fuck, I gotta pick one. So I'm gonna roll with, damn it, I hate Team Alpha Male, but I think I'm gonna have to take Tori Kelly on this one. My Hawaiian brethren, Duba, he swayed me, even though he's normally pro-Hawaiian guys. So I'm kind of like, I said, Kai Kamaka, and he's like, Tori Kelly's no slouch. I'm like, ugh, fuck. I'm just gonna say beware, like underdog lady style. Be careful when you bet on this fight. I'm just gonna go on and say Tori Kelly, just because he's only had the decisions aren't that bad. He's actually got out there and tried to finish the fight at least 4 times. So Kai's only tried it once. So my pickies for Tori Kelly. Next, Chris Dukakis versus Peter Porter. Parker Porter. Peter Piper Picker Peppers. What the? Peter Piper picked a pair of pickled peppers. Chris Dukakis is 8-3, 7 KOs, 1 sub, 1 decision versus Parker Porter. Peter Piper picked a pair of pickled peppers, is 4 KOs, 4 subs, 1 decision. Based on some internet information, I'm going with Parker Porter, and don't make me regret it, you cocksucker. Normally, I don't like to do that, but I'm gonna trust this man's integrity. One of these Twitter machines that I saw that has an impeccable betting record is picking Parker Porter, so I'm gonna ride with that. Next, Lavinia Sousa 13-2, 2 KOs, 8 subs, 3 decisions versus Ashley Yoder, 7-5, 0 KOs, 4 subs, 3 decisions. I'm going with Lavinia Souza because, hello, you're not gonna... Okay, so Ashley's won fights with submissions, right? 4 subs. You're not gonna go to the ground with Lavinia Souza. She's gonna submit you, fam. So you're gonna have to stand up. And she's got 2 KOs more than Ashley. So I'm gonna go with Lavinia. Ashley Yoder, she trains at a good gym, but this is Brazil. And we're gonna have to ride with Lavinia Souza. Next, TJ Brown, 4-7, 4 KOs. What's going on here? 4 KOs, 1 sub, 1 decision? Oh, shit. No, 14-7. My apologies, fam. 4 KOs, 9 subs, 1 decision versus Danny Chavez, 10-3, 3 KOs, 0 subs, and 7 decisions. Oh. Again, my internet source is telling me to pick Danny Chavez. And you better not be wrong, motherfucker. Because I do not like it when a fighter has a bunch of decisions. That's just very strange to me. But we're going to take Danny Chavez on that. Next, Felice Rollamami Mucho Gusto. Herring, 14-8, 1 KO, 4 subs, 9 decisions versus Farina Jandirabia. Okay, 15-1, 0 KOs, 12 subs, 3 decisions. Felice, you're not going to take that to the ground and wrestle that because she will submit you. So I'm going to go with Berina. Sorry, hola mami, Felice, maybe next time. Next, Jim Miller, who follows me on IG, versus Framel Pichel. Jim Miller, 32-14, 4 KOs, 18 subs, 10 decisions, versus Drink Pichel, 8 KOs, 0 subs, 4 decisions, 12-2. Jim Miller is always a sore spot in my body, I swear. Every time I pick him to win, he loses. Every time I bet against him, he wins. So you do the math. I'm going with From Hell Pichel. Since Jim won last time, I feel like he can lose this time. He cannot win 2 in a row. That's just impossible for Jim Miller, right? Don't tell Jim I said that, by the way, okay? Next, John the Magician Dodson versus Marab Dalishi. Listen, he's from Georgia. Marab. We're gonna go with Marab on this one. 11-4, 2 KOs, 1 sub, 8 decisions versus Dodson. 10 KOs, 2 subs, 9 decisions. Marab trains at Sierra Longo, or now it's Longo Weidman since Matt Serra's no, not there anymore. Whichever. Longo's a great school. Dodson's at John Wink, but he's got some miles on him, bro. He's got some miles on him. So, I mean, good for him. If the Magician gets it done, he saves his MMA career. But if he doesn't win this fight, I feel like he will be cut from the UFC. You're welcome. Next, Albert Burns, 11-2, 1 KO, 8 subs, 2 decisions versus Daniel Pineda. 26-13, 8 KOs, 18 subs, and 6 decisions. Again, my internet friend is telling me Herbert Burns. He is Brazil, and I will take him on that. Next, JDS versus Jarinzo Rosenstruck. Man, I don't like this fight, only because everybody gonna get knocked the fuck out. I have seen pictures. The rumors are true. JDS is fucking jacked, man. And Jarinzo did not impress me in his last showing. Francis Ngannou came running at him, and rather than coming towards him, he started backing up. And you can't win a fight backing up. It's just not going to happen. And then people hit me up. Oh, but what about Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin? I'm like, yeah, but what about Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman twice? You're going to back up twice and get knocked the fuck out? Yeah. You can't do that shit. You cannot fight backing up. It's virtually impossible. Obviously, Anderson Silva's done it, but he was not successful after that. It's just too easy to close distance on someone running forward versus backing up. It's just not going to happen. So the key to beating Francis, all Rosenstruck had to do was come to him, go forward. And he didn't. He backed up. It's fucking weird. Step to the side or come forward. If you don't want to back up, you don't want to go forward, step to the side. Step to the side. Okay? This is easy. JDS has even better boxing than Francis Ngannou. So I feel like JDS will knock out Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Next, I have Sugar Shane O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vieira. This fight could go either motherfucking way. So I'm telling y'all, I'm warning you with peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Somebody's going to get knocked the fuck out, and I don't know who. I'm going to take Sean O'Malley, 12-0, 8 KOs. 1 sub, 3 decisions. Marlon Vera, 15-6, 5 KO, 8 subs, 2 decisions. He is no slouch. So if Sugar gets this done, then we got to get this guy talking about championship fights now. This is his big test here. If he can pass this, he's the man. So I'm taking Sugar Shane O'Malley. And finally, Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier, a.k.a. Carl Winslow. I'm hoping Stipe will win so we can be officially done with DC. I don't care for this guy. I just find him to be absolutely corny. And quite frankly, I don't know. I want to be done with DC. Can we be done? Let's be done with DC. And if DC wins, we'll be done with him, but then we'll have to kind of hear about it. And I really don't want to have to hear about it because I know if he loses, he won't really be talking so much. So I don't want to hear the things that I've been hearing, which is I'm going to be in the conversation with Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you, sir? Excuse me, sir.
How dare you?
You are great. I do not think you're Michael Jordan great. Because remember, you got to beat the GOAT to be the GOAT, right? And you have not beat Johnny Jones. You have not beat Bones Jones. Not once, not twice. And if this guy managed to stay on the straight and narrow, if he fought him right now, he'd still beat him. So no, sir. You are not the GOAT. Don't you dare.
How dare you?
That you're in conversation with Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan beat every motherfucking team. Everybody. He beat everybody. He cleaned house. He smoked everybody 6 times. You have gotten the belt once, twice. Okay, you beat Stipe 3 times. Good for you. But you did not beat Bones Jones. Sad to say. I don't want to say it either. But he is the GOAT. Excuse me, how many times has Bone lost? Go on. I'm waiting. Matt Amu? An illegal elbow from Matt Amu? It was a tie with Gustafsson, which I believe he lost that fight, but still won. Please, DC, let's not ever hear you say that again. This is what he's throwing out there to the public. I'm just like, oh my God, you cannot be compared to Michael Jordan if you haven't beat the one person that hasn't lost. You've lost to them twice. Shut your bitch ass up. I can't take it anymore. I want to be done with this clown. Honestly, I can't. You beat John Jones and then we could talk about Michael Jordan stuff, okay? You will never be the GOAT. You'll be close, but you won't be the GOAT. The end. Stipe, I am begging you, please beat DC to shut him up. I do not want to hear another peep out of that man again. You must win this fight. Please, God, I beg you. I just feel like it's going to be so goddamn close. And DC didn't take him seriously the last time. So that's how he lost. So I'm hoping, I'm praying that Stipe will come in the best shape of his life, which I saw him at the weigh-ins. He looked amazeballs. I'm hoping that he will secure a W and put this to bed. Who is the best? Stipe, you're welcome. So for a final rundown on all of the picks, I'm taking Kelly, Porter, Souza, Chavez, Jandriba, Pichel, Dabalishvili, Pineo, Herbert Burns, JDS, O'Malley, and Miocic. Those are your UFC picks. Bet up against me, bet with me, bet for me. I don't give a shit. I'm just doing this because I love MMA so much, and I so desperately wish to be out there fighting. But there's no Patty McFatty League, so until I lose 60 pounds, I am forced to watch from the sidelines. But if there is a day when I get into tip-top shape, and they have a big lady league, you better believe I'm fucking fighting in it. I'll fight anybody, you motherfuckers. Bring it on. And now, your regular resume show. So, I had a tough 24 hours. My dog has been acting up again with his emotional outburst or anxiety, biting things, destroying stuff. I don't know where it's come from. Maybe because it's 109 degrees and he is frustrated. I don't know what else to do. I've got thousands of fans going. Obviously, they're not going right now because I'm trying to record. But I've got thousands of fans going day and night. Treats, ice cold water, toys, the whole nine. And still, the whole fucking thing. I mean, I tried to podcast last night and he was shaking the Rambo Bros Studio door. You motherfucker. Oi, lay the fuck down, dog. I'm trying to do a podcast. Do you fucking mind? So right now, because he has been up all night destroying things and causing a ruckus and filth, and he even tore one of my pillows, my beloved pillows. He's resting now, of course. Of course you're resting. Because you're tired, you son of a bitch. You've been up all night destroying things. And so, of course, I did not get to sleep very well. So I slept in. And the lights, one of the lights in my kitchen has been out for some time. And I haven't been able to fix it because I don't possess the proper ladder to get up there and do it. And so it's very high. And initially I was using a chair that was very unstable. And then I said, you know what? This is probably a bad idea. Let me just ask me father. Even though we really haven't been speaking to each other. Not my choice. His choice, of course. I've been trying to say, hello, how are you? How's things going? And it's very short or, just nothing at all. So I guess he stopped by and dropped off some dinner last night. And he was like, hey, I noticed your light in the kitchen's not working, so I'll stop by in the morning to fix it. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude. No pressure on you, or you can just leave the ladder and I'll do it myself. No big deal. So he's like, no, I want to do it. I'm like, fine. So he comes over in the morning, and since my mom's birthday on August 2nd, he has really just been kind of standoffish, not very talkative, and it's hurt my mom because it's my mom's birthday. And she would like somebody to talk to, and he's not very talkative. But I understand why, because when you speak to my mom starts to go into a place where she knows everything, and you can't really get a word in, so you just don't say anything. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you know what I mean. And so, because of this, my dad has gone, air quotes, frustrated. And so he asked me, he said, is everything all right with your mother? And I'm like, I don't know. She's your wife. Why don't you ask her? And I said, help me, help you, help me. Okay. What the fuck? He goes, well, because I don't really talk to her. And I was like, yes, this is apparent. You also really don't talk to me either. So He's like, I don't really talk to her, but I noticed you guys talk a lot. So has she told you anything? And I'm like, no, because I don't stay on the phone that long with her because it gets to a point where I can't express how I'm feeling. And I shut down. So I just keep our phone conversation short. I keep our phone conversation short, which I know hurts my mom because she would love to talk to people since my father does not talk to her. But when you start to talk to her, then she just kind of takes over knowing the conversation, even though it's your own experience. You're trying to explain something. And she just goes, oh, I know. And it's like this. And you're just like, ugh. And I notice that I am doing it to people, and I'm trying to stop doing that because I don't want to be like my mom. I'm trying to stop doing that right now because I know how shitty it fucking feels when you're trying to explain how you feel, trying to tell somebody something, you're trying to open up, and you get shut down. So my dad was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. It's some weird competition. And I said, I know. And I said, I don't talk to her for that long for that reason. And the other thing he said is, I'm a Trump guy. And I said, oh, this is odd. I mean, this has been common knowledge, but I find it incredibly difficult for my father, who is an immigrant from Jamaica, to be a Trump guy when Donald Trump doesn't want to let immigrants in. Donald Trump is keeping immigrants in cages. I find that I can't wrap my head around it. And he says, well, I'm a Trump guy and your mom hates Trump. And I said, well, it's not surprising. A lot of people hate Trump. Why is this important? And he said, well, because it's obsessive. It's in the morning, something about Trump. And in the night, it's something about Trump. And he says, I like Trump, but I also really don't care. And I'm like, okay, well, neither do I, which is why I don't talk to her about it. And he says, okay, is there any news? And I was like, news about what? And he's like, well, your mom, is she all right? And I was like, well, why don't you ask her? She is your wife. And he said, well, I don't want to get you involved or whatever. And I said, well, you are, because you're not saying anything. So by you not speaking to mom means that mom takes it out on me. So if you could, I asked nicely, I said, if you could just talk to her, have a conversation with her, and maybe get some sort of understanding, whether you agree or not. Just get an understanding. So, well, why would I talk to her? There's no reasoning. Everything's a competition. Prime example. She said Kamala Harris is Jamaican. And I said, yes, she's half Jamaican. And he goes, she's not Jamaican. And I said, okay, well, that's where we have a problem. Because the conversation that we had with my mom and I was this very conversation. And then so she asked my dad what I was. And my dad said, not Jamaican. And my mom was like, no, she's half Jamaican. She's half of you. And I'm the other half of her. And he's like, only Jamaican people are Jamaican if they're born there. And I was like, what? What? Are you retarded?
What, are you retarded?
He's like, what? So what do you explain to somebody whose parents are Jamaican that came here had a child in America? They're Jamaican American. Just like me. I'm half Jamaican, half American. But according to my father, unless you were born there, you are not, which is quite frankly bizarre. Because if you ask a regular person who has a Jamaican parent and an American parent, they will tell you, I'm half Jamaican, half American. My dear beloved friend is half white, half Chinese. He is not claiming to be Chinese. He is also not claiming to be white. He is half. Not that that matters, but if you were to put his blood on a microscope or analyze his DNA, you would see half Chinese, half white. So my dad is just like upset that anybody who is not born from Jamaica claiming to be from Jamaica is not appropriate. And I'm just like, well, Dad, I'm not claiming to be from Jamaica, and neither is Kamala Harris. But one of her parents is Jamaican. Therefore, she is Jamaican. This is crazy. So he decided to stop speaking to my mom over something that silly and ridiculous. And from my mom's perspective, she apologizes to me that my father doesn't speak to me. And I'm like, why would you apologize? This is who you decided to marry. What can I do? What can I say? I've already wished not to be born, but I am already here. The store cannot take me back. No returns, no refunds. Sorry. This is it. This is what we're living with. We're dealing with. Everyone's approach is fucking shitty. She is saying, your father does this, and I say, yes. Well, I'm sorry. No. Don't be sorry. Don't fucking worry about it. Why don't you worry about working on you having to be right all the time? But if I told her that, see, I'm dreading going to dinner tonight because I know that we're going to have a situation. And I don't want to have a situation. So I just don't say anything because you cannot tell either of them anything. They're old enough that they've made their minds up and they don't want to change. But insert me into the picture where I have had to make a unhealthy decision by really not speaking to either of them or limiting my time with them because it feels extremely toxic to me. How am I supposed to have a relationship with someone who thinks I'm going to burn in hell? How can I trust this person that, God forbid, the day my mom passes away and my father is still living, I don't know that I'm going to have a place to live. I don't know what's going to happen because we don't really have a good relationship because I'm gay. The reverse with my mom is her mom was nasty to her, and my mom has gone out of her way to try and be nice, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, there have been signs where she has just been downright nasty to me, and I can't having to look into my best interest, I've just had to kind of isolate myself from them, and it sucks. I really wish that things were better. I've tried. I've mentioned on here that y'all should get a divorce because it's very clear you don't like each other. Oh no, we love each other. Well, you're lying to yourselves. I don't buy it, but that's on you. But to turn around and put me in the middle of it, I can't take it. It's just too much. So I don't know. Am I wrong for distancing myself from these people? I just feel like I'm a fucking alien because I see, based on trauma from my grandmother to my mom, my grandmother was a horrible, horrible human being. I don't want to fall into that trap with her, and I would be lying to not say that there is a slight twinge of, I don't want to say emotional abuse because it's not really abuse per se, but it might be emotionally inappropriate at times. I don't know really where to go other than to try and work on myself as best as I can and to try and identify it. But I so wish that my parents were in a space where I could say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. You might not feel this way because you just are feeling, you're in your feelings or We all interpret things differently, but this is what I'm experiencing from the both of you. My father, as you know, is anti-gay and had the worst relationship with his father, actually non-existent to be exact. We are sort of falling into that same pattern. Our relationship is, I don't want to say non-existent, but it's on thin ice. And it's not by my choosing. I've tried to bond as best I can. You just get tired of being rejected. And so I guess the reason why I bring this up is because I've kind of reached a boiling point, and I've just been really thinking about how I can get some sort of personal training business going. Do I want to do it here in California? Do I want to move? Yes, I want to move. I want to get as far away from my parents as humanly possible. But at the same time, I love California. So I'm just like, what do I fucking do? What do I do? I definitely want to move. I definitely want to move somewhere closer to the beach. And now that, unfortunately, my gym is on hiatus, financially, they can no longer afford to have a physical building. Thank you, Gavin Newsom, ruining my life. Now I'm in the process of, great, now I've got to go gym shopping again once they open. And I'm trying to decide what my future will be as far as fighting, because I know that I still have that competitive spirit. And I feel like if I go the jiu-jitsu route, that will save me from even more brain damage, as well as maybe get me a potential fight with Gabby Garcia, which would mean that I could make some serious coins, darling, and take those coins and move. I just want to move. I don't wish to live so close to my parents. I feel like if I live far away, that maybe the times that I do come around would be a bit more respected. I don't know. I just feel like it's not in a good place. I don't know what the word to describe it with. But the biggest thing is, for years, and I've talked about this on here, for years, my dad has been pressuring me to have a relationship with my mom's sister, even though my mom's sister has repeatedly burned my mom over and over again, both financially and emotionally, is just not practicing good behavior. My dad keeps trying to force me to have a relationship with her, and I find that to be incredibly odd, seeing as how if it were me and my significant other and their sister were not getting along, I would probably back my significant other first before I would back their sister. And it appears that my father tends to lean towards her. It's shitty. It just looks bad. My mom did the best to take care of my aunt who is like medically, emotionally unstable in a roundabout way, basically has not worked since 1985 due to her own traumas, drug use, the whole nine. I'm not shaming her for being mentally ill at all, because I think mental awareness is important. But what I am shaming her for is the bad behavior, the knowing bad behavior that she participates in. And then expecting things to be different is what I can't put up with. And specifically, I hate talking about this, but we talked about this before. My aunt decided to not clean her yard and just let her yard be a complete mess, just like 6-foot high grass, the whole nine, and just trashed. Her house was trashed. And before I go on with the story, I just think about some conversations I've had with people and some conversations I've heard. And I've heard that these individuals saying how they will probably never own a house in California because of either some sort of financial situation or because of some past mistakes. And here my aunt made all the mistakes in the world, still managed to graduate college early, become a teacher, buy a house, do all of these things. And then she just let it go. And I shake my fist, because she had all of the opportunities in the world and pissed it away. And she let her house get trashed, okay, in the front yard. So the city kept giving her fines because you can't have a trashy ass yard. The city will fine you, believe it or not. Once your grass gets to be about 6 feet high and full of bottles and cans, well, the city's going to fine you. So she never paid these fines because she thought it's her house. She can do whatever the fuck she wants with it. She never paid these fines. Well, then the city then put a lien against her house and told her if she did not pay the fines that they would sell her house. And so my father was like, oh, well, you can just come and live with Jen. And I'm like, the fuck you are? Nope. I said, if she comes to move in with me, then I'm moving out. Because I refuse to have somebody in my life who can't take accountability, is not responsible, who wants to blame everyone else for their problems and not do anything about it. I said, no, I'm not going to live with this toxic person. I don't care about, I'm not judging her mental stuff. I'm just looking at the facts. And the facts is that time and time again, nobody ever paid. She never paid her bills. Even when things were really bad, she would ask people for money and then go to Vegas and go gamble. And then her daughter would have to pay her bills, which is fucking shitty because her daughter has her own family. She's got 3 kids. So it's like, hey, that's not fair. You're getting everybody else to pay your bills. I don't ask people to pay my bills. I pay my fucking bills. And when I can't afford to pay my bills, then I make payments on my bills until they're paid off. So if you think I'm going to move in with somebody that's not responsible, guess again. So he said, hey, do you ever talk to your aunt? And I was like, no, I don't talk to her because A, that's not fair to mom. And I said, B, I said, I've had my own trauma with her and I don't particularly care for her. So then he's walking out and I said, honestly, do you really want to know why I don't talk to her? And I said, it's because she beat the shit out of me when I was a kid. And my dad goes, oh, I'm sorry. And then just walks out. I'm just like, bro, you just listen to your daughter, aka your child, air quotes, tell you that your bestie, your sister-in-law, your bestie or whatever that you talk to, beat the shit out of your daughter. And then you think that I should have a relationship with her? Nah, no, I'm not going to do that. So he just left and I'm just like, okay, this is why I don't really talk to you, because when I tell you something important, you just leave. You just leave or you take your side. So I'm just like, all right, whatever, dude. That shit has been haunting me for years. I've talked to y'all about it on here. And it still gets me upset. And all he can say is, I'm sorry, okay, and then leaves. I will talk to my mother because it's just small talk. It's not anything deep because, like I said, I can't really talk to her because she won't listen. She just thinks if you tell her something that she's going to be like, okay, this is what you did wrong. This is how you do it right. She's the expert, so you can't say anything. Just like my dad said, it's competition. But then at the same time, my dad, I told him, this was me asking him for help. I said, hey man, you should have a conversation with your wife because I get the end of I get the bad end of the stick because you don't want to have a conversation with her. She then takes it out on me. And he goes, no, I'm not talking to her. I'm just like, okay, cool. So you're acknowledging that I'm telling you that when you don't talk to her, she punishes me. And you're okay with this. And he didn't say anything. So I'm like, okay, then we really have nothing else to talk about. So that was my day. So now let's talk about something fun because that fucking sucked. And if anybody is still alive and listening, here we go. Some current events. A man has to have surgery to remove 29 magnets from his penis. Dirty pop. I mean, when you put the first magnet in, friend, wasn't it excruciating pain? Why did you do it 29 more times? And how big are these magnets? Oh my God. Put magnets in his crumb. Oh, I feel sick. Dirty pop. Oh. I just don't know where you start to think that is a good idea ever. Like, hey guys, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to put some magnets in my dick. Oh, 29 of them, not one magnet, 29. And then what are you supposed to do? Like, are you going to do the helicopter and they like either shoot out or are you going to like try and like get your phone to like stick to your dick? Like what's happening? What are we doing? Dirty pop. Oh, Jesus God. Oh, man. Maybe that's, you know what? Maybe it's probably a good thing that I did not have a penis because I would probably do something stupid like that. Dirty pop. And I'm sure y'all are sick of hearing about it, but I'm just going to give you my 2 cents and then we can go the fuck on. Biden picks Kamala Harris as his vice president. And I could give 2 fucking shits. And I'll tell you why. This man sealed his fate for me when he told me that I was not black enough if I had to decide between him and Trump. Well, I clearly made my decision since he made it for me. That I will not be voting for Biden either. So sorry. Good thing is I'm only one person, but, I just think he's another piece of shit. I think Trump's a piece of shit. I think Harris is a piece of shit, but Mike Pence is the King Kamehameha of piece of shits. And I want to be done with all 4 of these yoo-hoos. Trump's going to continue to pander to the people who are okay with putting people in cages, that ass backwards, Southern Bible Belt thumping, anti-gay, anti-black people down there. And then, Biden and Harris are the status quo who want to take away guns, pot, arrest minorities, the whole 9. I can't deal with either of them. So I will be desperately looking on my voting card for anybody else's name but those 2 names. Okay? It's a no. Trump, it's a no for Trump, it's a no for Biden. Who else is next? Whoever else is next, you will get my vote because those 2 are trash from the highest level. I don't even care if y'all gonna hit me up and go, you're throwing away your vote. You're throwing away your vote. No, bitch. I'm not throwing away my vote because I'm voting because somebody gave me the right to vote and I'm going to vote for what is right for me. And I feel like Trump is not right for me. Biden is not right for me. The end. Vote for who you want to vote. Vote for who's right for you because that's how this shit works. We are in this fucking mess because people were fear-mongering for many years. And let's go on and just say the fantasy is over for my entire life. This vote for the lesser of 2 evils bullshit is bullshit. Look where we are now, voting lesser of 2 evils. Trash. Basura agua. Hot ass trash water. So don't tell me that lesser of 2 evils works, because it don't. Vote for who the fuck you want to vote for and not it being the lesser of 2 evils. Why don't you make some goddamn sense, okay? Because that doesn't make any sense to me at all, okay? Vote for somebody that makes sense to you, not for the lesser of 2 evils. Because if you do that, this is why we're in the position we're at. I was on a run. I had some pretty good shows. The last 3 episodes I thought were amazeballs. And then now a speed bump. So before I go, I just want to tell y'all that, for my OG Rambo per Radio listeners, you know that I've always said about ladies, if it doesn't make the macaroni sound, I don't want it. Well, this week, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion must be listeners of the Rambo per Radio show because they put it in the song. They said it. And I said, oh, you stole it. You stole it from Rambo. You must listen to my show. I said, if it doesn't make the macaroni sound, I don't want it. And here is the tape. Let me get it for you right here.
Pussy, macaroni in a pot, that's some wet ass pussy, huh?
Wait.
Wet ass pussy, macaroni in a pot, that's some wet ass pussy, huh?
Yo, I told y'all ages ago. And then look, y'all Steelers. You guys better give me some credits or something on the song, like you stole it from Rambo per Radio or intellectual property of Rambo per Radio. Come on. Shit. Now every time I say it now, people are going to go, oh, you got that from Cardi B and blah, 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 Megan Thee Stallion. I'm going to say, no, motherfucker, that was from me. I made that up, goddammit. And the reason that came from is because several of my guy friends are insisting that I should sleep with men now because I suck at getting ladies. And I say, listen, if it sounds like a toolbox down there, I don't want it. I said, it must make the macaroni sound or else I don't want it. Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to turn this off because this has been the worst episode ever. But before I let you go, I want to leave you with the Aubrey Marcus podcast. And this week they talked about, or actually last week, they talked about establishing boundaries for yourself, knowing when to say no, knowing to say you've had enough.
Girl, you blow up your lips some more. Enough. We're not doing this anymore. I'm not having this anymore. Enough. Get out.
And listening to yourself. How are you feeling? Staying in touch with what is inside of you. And I think this week I did a okay job of that. I established my boundary with my dad and I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to my aunt because she has violated my boundaries as a child. So I wish not to speak with her. And I have also established some boundaries with my parents. I mean, I told my dad I really don't talk to mom because she's not listening. So maybe I'll talk to her later. But right now, for my safety, I think it's important that we keep the chatter to a minimum. Keep the visits to a low. And the same goes for my father. I feel until we can get to a healthy space, that it's best that we keep our speaking to a minimum. Just for my sanity as I try and sort some things out. It doesn't mean we won't speak to each other in the future, because I'm sure when I possess the correct wording or phrasing to say it and approach him in a appropriate manner without getting angry, I think then we can have a conversation. So, but for you listening, enough about me. I want y'all to listen to this little clip from the Aubrey Marcus podcast that I'm going to play for you. And maybe it resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you've already heard it. Cool, hear it again so you can tell a friend. Maybe it will help your friend, or maybe it will help you. I know I will be listening to it again to help myself as well. But before I go, please like, share, and subscribe to Rambo per Radio, RamboPerRadio.com. Tell a friend, maybe not this episode, because this one sucked. Maybe tell them about the last 2 or something. I don't know. Or maybe tell them this one sucked and you guys can have a good laugh at my expense. Truth sayers and lie slayers. This is Ramp Up Radio. And I'm out.
One thing I was horrible at in life was boundaries. Like, if I have a boundary, I'm afraid I'm going to lose love. And I don't even think I was ever really clear about what those were for me, but they would happen in moments when I would get angry or triggered, or, it was like the part of me that was speaking to me, this is a boundary of something that isn't okay with me. And so, yeah, like really, really honoring yourself and knowing yourself, knowing what it is that you need, taking the time to be present with what that is and not being afraid to ask for it. If you ask for your needs and desires from a partner and, that doesn't align with theirs, maybe there's a misalignment in the relationship. Maybe it's something that you can work through, but like if you're always honoring yourself, the world around you is listening to that, and it is also going to honor you.
Yeah.
You really have to put yourself first, and that's not in a it's not in a selfish sense, like what I need is the most important, but like if you're not going to honor your needs and desires, nobody else is going to do it for you, and you're always going to end up in relationships that don't feel fulfilling. So like get right with that part in you first, and that takes action in moments, of just choosing to do that, especially when it's uncomfortable. Like I think for a lot of women, because we feel so much, and like I said, I've always been really sensitive to people's energy shifts, and I could read people really well. And so when something was coming from me that was disruptive for them, it was kind of like I would do whatever I could to fix it, instead of taking a second to breathe and reflect on what's here for me. I also matter. You matter the most. Like nobody else can do you the way that you do and the way that you need.
Yeah.
And just feel safe to love yourself in that way. Like I don't think we celebrate our magnificence enough, and I don't think that's an egotistic thing. Like, I mean, if it's like narcissism or like a fake projection of you are
as
great,
a compensation mechanism, or the motivation behind it is to parade some aspect of yourself that you think is better than everybody else. That's different. But our inherent magnificence in every single person is magnificent.
Every single person is so magnificent. So like, can we celebrate that more?
For sure.